Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another FIFA 21 video where today we're going to be discussing the topic surrounding gameplay. This is a question I've had a lot recently, and obviously in my Discord, if you're not a part of the Discord, make sure to click the link down below and join it. We've got a growing community over there. We talk a lot about FIFA and other things. But a question that I get a lot in like the Discord and on comments that I do see when we do sort of gameplay sort of topics is just about how poor the gameplay is now, and after this latest patch and what's happened. And I wanted to give my thoughts and my opinions on how this new gameplay is, especially after the first weekend league since the new patch. Now, where I want to start with this is, as you can see my record at the top left, I've won 461 games, 5 draws, 105 games. Now, that's around about 570 games, which is, I don't think, quite a lot. That's not a lot of games. You know, most people that I see are exceeding 1,000 games now. So I've played kind of twice as little amount as other people, and that's because for me personally, I think FIFA gameplay in general is never been great. It's never really been super good. But after this latest patch, now I had a bit of a bad weekend. Just not necessarily with score. You know, I still got an okay score. I actually stopped on 13 wins, which people might go, why didn't you play 14? And I stopped on 13 because I just wasn't having fun. The game this weekend, for me personally, was one of the worst I've ever experienced. Now, I'm somebody who likes to try and advise people to take ownership of mistakes, because I think this is something that's really important. I think a lot of people blame the game too much and use it as too much of an issue and don't take ownership of mistakes. And I'm somebody who likes to get people to try and own up to their own mistakes rather than just take the easy way out and blame the game. But on this occasion, I think it is more than acceptable to be blaming the game for how poor it was this weekend. I think this is a weekend where when people say the gameplay was terrible, it's true. Most people say, oh, the gameplay was terrible this weekend. They say that every week. It's an excuse. This weekend just gone, when people say the gameplay was bad, it is not an excuse. This weekend, it is a fact. The gameplay was absolutely horrendous. And after this latest patch, the gameplay, as I said, you know, at the beginning of the video, was never really fun. But now the gameplay has become horrendous. Like, it's slow. The passing is so bad. The auto blocks are terrible. Some games you can score bucket loads of goals and concede bucket loads, and then other games it can just be 0-0 and you can't do anything. And it's just, the game is so inconsistent now. And there are so many little things, like I mentioned with whatnot before, and you know, another one might be like tackling, the manual tackling system now. Like, I don't remember many tackles that I made this weekend that actually stuck and came out with the ball. It's just the game this weekend was very, very bad and just not a fun experience. And one thing, you know, as you might have seen what my team is, I have a very, very good squad. You know, this is the team that I run with, and I think it's brilliant. It's a great team. I was really looking forward to playing to it. This is my first weekend league post team of the year, and I was really looking forward to playing with it. And like pretty much every weekend, your first 5, 6, 7 games, or certainly for me, were really fun because I was playing against, you know, people who were maybe not as good as me. And, you know, whilst, you know, you should be beating people like that, it was fun. It was, you know, because when you play against people who are maybe not as good as you, you can relax. And it doesn't matter how bad the game is, you're just a better player. But when you start to come up against some better opponents, as when I got to sort of game 9, 10, you know, that sort of form, now you're starting to play good players. Now you really start to see the real badness of how bad this game has become to play. And it's a real shame because the gameplay is so poor, but the menu system's so great. And while I was looking forward to playing with this team, obviously having the likes of Alphonso Davies and Boateng and Van Dijk and Kimmich and Torres and that Dybala, Trent, you know, some really top players. When the gameplay is as bad as it was this weekend, it doesn't matter if I was using these team of the years, these icons, or if I was just using a bog standard gold team. The gameplay was so poor and is so poor. It wasn't just a one weekend thing. This is how the gameplay is until the next patch that comes, whenever it may be. But it just feels like with every patch, this game is just becoming less and less fun to play. Menu content, menu grinding, if you're someone who grinds the menus a lot, whether you trade, whether you do league SBCs, whatever you do on the menu, it's brilliant. And you work really hard to try and, you know, whatever free time you've got, if you've got half an hour a day or 5 hours a day, you work really hard to try and get the team you've got. But then the problem becomes when you want to actually play games with that team, you can't really enjoy the gameplay because it's so inconsistent and it's so frustrating when you play. And it's one of those things that even when you win games in FIFA, you're still frustrated. You come away frustrated. And one thing that I've learned to do, and we alluded it to at the start of the video when I stopped at 13 wins this weekend, I was 13-2. And I managed to stop. And most people might say, why didn't you at least play to 14? Because, well, number one, you know, the difference between gold 3 and silver 1, reward-wise, do I need rewards? When I have a team like this, and this is all like first owner, free to play, whatever you want to call it, I don't need the rewards. You know, that little coin injection now is no longer worthy, you know, so it's you're not playing for that. So I play now just for enjoyment. I play because I like the competition aspect of FUT Champs, so I want to test myself. But when you play in such poor gameplay, you have to then be able to go, this is now no longer fun. I don't want to force myself to play this. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle and maybe don't. That's where people can do something. If you are just not enjoying the game, you just have to stop. Like this weekend, I just stopped. Just, you know, I wasn't enjoying it. I thought, I don't want to ruin my weekend. I don't want to get myself in a bad mood. This game is just really poor to play. Maybe it is just this weekend. Maybe the gameplay this weekend was just bad. Maybe this is what it is with this patch that's just come. But the gameplay was bad. So I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing. I'm not going to make myself more miserable. And I think that's where a lot of people need to walk away when they are not enjoying the game, because FUT Champs now is no longer something. You shouldn't need to play FUT Champs to improve your team. You shouldn't be going on a week-to-week basis going, I need the coins and rewards from FUT Champs to improve my team. You know, if you're kind of living off of that in coin injection every weekend, you're probably running your account the wrong way, and that's irrespective of how much time you have on the game. But FUT Champs now is no longer the priority, the big dog, the main way of making coins or getting better players. It's something that you should now only be playing when you want to use your team, you know, because when I want to use this team, I don't want to use this team in friendlies. I can't use it in draft. I don't want to use it in squad battles. So my only options are rivals and champs. So I want to use it in champs. But when you stop having fun, when the game stops being fun, that's when you have to yourself just take control and go, I'm just not having fun anymore, so I'm going to stop. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. And I see it all the time. A lot of people, you know, it happens to people in the Discord that I'm obviously the owner of, and you know, people will be commenting saying they're not having fun playing champs. And a couple of the guys in there, I know they have good squads, and I know that they don't need the rewards from champs, yet they continue to play and kind of get more frustrated and get more angry, when they could just very easily stop and just go, I don't need to play champs. I've got a great squad. I don't need the 70 or 80,000 coins that champs is going to give me. You know, you could make 70 or 80,000 coins in one day if you want. You know, I invested in a whole bunch of common cards for these upgrade packs. I made a video about it a couple of days ago that telling people to invest in those common cards, and you could have picked them up for 350, 400 easy, no problem whatsoever. They're now going for 800, 850. I've sold all of them and I've made about 1 million coins. So you don't need to play the game to get a better squad. You only need to play the game when you've got that squad. And when it stops being fun, that's when you have to be able to walk away. But the gameplay now is just in a state where you just kind of don't want to play. You know, it's just not fun, regardless of what team you've got. If you've got a good team, you've got a bad team, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people in the comments will maybe agree with where the gameplay is at right now, and it's just not fun. And as I said, if you're not having fun with the game, you have to just be able to stop and walk away and just find other ways to just entertain yourself. If it's not gameplay, maybe get into trading, get into SBCs, and then just play the gameplay every now and again. Play it in little fits and starts. That's what I've managed to do. You know, when I play sort of 2 or 3 games, I stop, because at that point it stops becoming fun. And when it stops becoming fun, it's just no longer worth your time. You could go and do anything else and have more fun. So that would be my advice with the gameplay and what you need to do going forwards. But you know, that's my take on the gameplay and where it's at the moment. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you drop a thumbs up as well if you are new to the channel. But as I say, guys, have an awesome day. I'm out.